the hardworking women and men officers of the RSLPF. So the commissioner has vowed to take back the streets. We continue to see police operations unfold in various traffic checks, various spot checks, and various strategic operations as well. How successful have they been? Quite successful from various vantage points. If you look at it from the recovery of illegal firearms, again and again, the police continue to make good and continue to record successes in those efforts. Just last weekend, Sunday past, in Lataka, police patrol intercepted an individual who was carrying an illegal firearm, a .99 millimeter with a .38 ammunition as well. So there have been successes, and we anticipate the police operation strategic ones to unfold as we move closer and closer to the festive season. Someone is saying via WhatsApp, you should run the commissioner's statement again and again and again. The statement needs to be enforced by strong action, somebody else is saying. Our time just about 10 minutes before the hour of 7. Let's now hear from a couple cares, a friend of the show, Shervon Mattieu. He does this annually in keeping with the festive season himself, and colleague, I think she's his cousin as well, Candy Nicholas. So Shervon and Candy, they have partnered with the help of some corporate entities to produce some tips which are essential heading into the festive season. You heard from the commissioner as well. They're seeing, well, I disagree somewhat. It's not unprecedented. It's the norm, and we've seen the figures year after year. It's the norm around Christmas time. You have an increase in robberies, but you heard from her they are expecting, and they have seen those sort of activities. So a couple cares, Sergeant Matthews, he has put together some tips you may find extremely important as we move closer and closer to Christmas, as we continue to encourage you to do what is necessary to stay safe.
In my experience as a law enforcement officer, the festive season traditionally sees an increase in theft-related offenses.
To avoid being a victim, here are some tips to help protect you and your property this festive season. So remember to always be super aware and super alert of your surroundings, especially in areas like the banks, at the ATM, of course in your home and in different businesses. And remember to always trust your instincts. Now that the Wishmaker loans are being offered, avoid walking around with cash. Upload it to your Visa debit card for a safer and more convenient way to shop.
Install motion sensor lights, security alarms, and cameras around your house, especially at entrances. When moving into a new apartment or residence, always have the locks rekeyed or changed. Always properly log out after completing your online transactions. Do not carry your PIN number in wallets, better to memorize them. Lock your devices when not in use.
Keep bush and hedges around entrances clean. The last thing you want is for a thief to hide when attempting to break in.
What you or your employees do during a robbery could have a tremendous impact on the outcome of the situation. This is why it's important to remember these vital tips.
Remember to be calm, be cooperative, and also be observant. From the Genuine Credit Union,
And me, Shervon Mattieu, a couple cares.
and me, Candy Nicholas, we wish you a very good festive season.
Thanks, Shervon. Thanks for sharing. And as always, you expect when material of this nature is shared, we share it to you, our viewers and the listeners, as well as we want you to stay safe headed into the festive season. A few more on the issue of the national crime crisis as we prepare for my first guest, who is already on standby. I'm told 5 minutes before 7 o'clock now, the time in St. Lucia and the Eastern Caribbean. You would have heard from the police commissioner, Ms. Pellews, and you would have heard from Shervon in a short while ago. What you haven't heard here on this network, I'll share it perhaps before we end at 9. The Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Philip Pierre, Honorable Philip Joseph Pierre, this week, Monday of this week, he was speaking amidst the national crime crisis, and he was speaking in response to recommendations sent to his office via official communique from the former Prime Minister and the leader of His Majesty's opposition, Alan Chasney, in which Mr. Chasney had written to the Prime Minister officially making recommendations on what can be done to address the national crime crisis. This week, you perhaps have not heard, we will share it before I leave at 9. The Prime Minister has shut down, he has rejected those recommendations as nothing new. So whereas we all have called and have recognized the need for it to be a national effort and for all hands to be on board, all hands to be on deck in addressing the national crime crisis, you have the former Prime Minister extending suggestions and recommendations to the leader of government, Philip Pierre, at this moment, and those are being shut down. So from the top, looking down, it's not perhaps the example that one wants to set. Perhaps you should have engaged dialogue, but I'll allow you, our viewers and the followers, to share your feedback when we share the Prime Minister's statements later, rejecting the recommendations to solve crime. We'll also take a closer look at some of those recommendations. I'll tell you exactly what they were. Let's take a quick commercial break. The numbers are open, the phone lines are open. First up, you have a $20 fuel voucher from Salt Petroleum. If you simply tell me what is the tagline for Salt Petroleum, I'll give you $20 in fuel today, Wednesday, and it will take you extremely far. We have some more prizes. I have some prizes, some cots as well, and some items from Joby. For our viewers, and I'll just send off the messages earlier on. I'll send the remainder shortly. For those viewers who would have won our offices, you are open from just about 9 o'clock this morning, so feel free with proper identification to come to our offices at Mount Fortune. All prizes would be at the front desk. I'll give you some more information. Just walk with proper identification. But the first question this hour, the tagline for Salt Petroleum, $20 fuel